So the reason we're all gathered here is really to celebrate what a fantastic turnaround, and to really acknowledge what an outstanding leader Kevin Nolan here is and the job that he's done. So more importantly, from my perspective, it's brought a real pride and stability and optimism and excitement to this football club, something that we haven't seen for many years. And that's something which many of the fans and the spectators are commenting on a daily basis. A prime example of this is the hospitality and sponsorship that we're having for this Saturday's game at Lincoln. We've actually completely sold out 3 restaurants. We've got in excess of 600 people who are dining with us on Saturday, and the sponsorship is just sold out. It's amazing the response that we're getting and the turnaround that this club has achieved. However, Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're mindful that we've still got a big job to do. My job, back office, is to keep the staff motivated and committed. Kevin's job on the pitch is to keep the players' feet on the ground. So even after the win last Saturday, our 4th successive victory, Kevin's still talking about let's first get safety. Let's get to those 45, 48 points and make sure we're not relegated. Promotion and winning the championship doesn't appear on Kevin's radar. So we acknowledge we've still got a big job to do. But what he's brought is a great togetherness within the squad. It's brought a great sense of unity, and that trait isn't often experienced at football clubs or sport in general, in order to galvanise a team with such commitment and such passion and such energy. But we're a realist. I know that Kevin is one of our future stars in the game. I acknowledge that one day he's probably going to be manager in a Premiership, and one day may even be manager of England. So, whilst we've got a big job to do, we acknowledge that at some point Kevin may move on, so we need to really embed the foundations for the next 3 years. And that's why I'm absolutely delighted that we've agreed a new 3-year contract, that Kevin will be with us for that time, and he can take this club forward from here where we are today, provide even more stability, even more commitment, even more passion to this club, and start a fabulous journey, and who knows where we're going to be in 2, 3, 4 years' time. So thank you for that. Thank you for the attention today, guys. So it's really just to announce that Kevin's going to be here for at least 3 years, and I'm absolutely delighted with that.
Questions? Mark, do you want to kick us off?
You talk about the manager, future Premier League manager. I mean, that's how high you rate Kevin then?
I got limited experience in football, but certainly the people who have been around the game a long time. You know, and there's a gentleman at the back there, Darren Fletcher, who's got a lot of experience, and the people he's talking to, and the sound bites that we're getting from people like Les Brad, who's been in the game a long time, rate Kevin right up there with the best managers that he's seen.
Kevin, you've spoken for a few weeks about this, and we're finally here. I mean, was it an easy decision to make in the end?
Yeah, I think that's why I think I've been so comfortable. You know, when you've been asking, and I've said, you know, we'll let time take its due course. We knew that there was going to be a few negotiations, but for me it's been relatively easy. I'm absolutely delighted that my assistant Tom was going to be with me during that course, and we've got who's at the back there with me. Norm's going to be with us as well. He's already got a couple of years on his contract, so he's fine. And he doesn't do Wednesdays, so that means that he's not here today. But he's very much part of such a solid backroom staff that I've got. You know, since I've walked in the club, I've been met with nothing but you know, everything, you know, to help us try and make things easier on the pitch. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to this man on my left. He's been absolutely first class. We've got introduced through, he just mentioned him earlier, through Darren Fletcher. I had my interview. I met another great fellow who's on the board, John Oliver, that night, along with Jason, who's another board member. And I think we hit it off, and I think we knew then that we had something which hopefully was going to be great. We spoke about things which I think you're all aware of now, about keeping this club up, and I was very confident I could do that and take it to, you know, to get it to a stable position this year, so that we could kick on going forward. And I think when we spoke about journeys and things, I think you know I speak about it quite regularly in my weekly presses, is that I feel that this is a club which is, you know, it's a sleeping, well, it is a sleeping giant. We all know that with the history it's got, with the way it is, how big the stadium is for this league. And look, we want to make it successful. We want to go to, you know, as quickly as possible, as, you know, and get this club where we feel it belongs. But we've got to make sure we do it the right way. At the minute, it's going fantastically well. We know we're going to hit some bumps in the road, but I feel with me and Alan working as closely as we do, with the team I have behind me in Tomo and Norm, and not only them, I've got fantastic people who also work behind closed doors, who are always the unsung heroes, who, when we are spending 7-8 hours, we have Kate, who's one of the RPA, who actually runs out, gets us all our food, does everything, makes everything, you know, run like clockwork. And you know, she's the one who organises the lads, and she's the one sending texts, getting texts all hours at night about problems with the boys. So you know, you forget about all these type of people who make everything so much easier for us to just concentrate on football. Alan, with what he's done in the short space of time, in giving us the facility to have training facilities, what we've got now, it just puts another perspective to the lads that this is a club going places. So it makes our job a lot easier when we're asking them to do more than probably what they've probably been asked in their careers. And I feel that now we are a club which is on the up, and I feel that we are going to be successful going forward. I think everyone knows Alan's a successful businessman. Everyone knows about my success in football, which was, you know, when I look back now, I'm very honoured and privileged to have a career in football as I did. And I'm hoping now that this is the beginning of my managerial career. I've got the same feeling as I had when I first signed my first contract at Bolton Wanderers, and I'm just really excited, and I'm hoping now that it can only go one way, which is taking this club to where we believe it belongs.
Still don't believe you didn't get the England cap.
Fans obviously were very pleased that Kevin signed, but there'll probably be some worries that maybe there's a release clause or a gentleman's agreement that if a certain club comes in for him, he'll be allowed to go. Is there anything to say
Well, I put
about
on Twitter last week that there's a 10 million buyout clause. So if Bolton are looking, it's 10 million. Kevin and I have got an agreement in place, be it it's only an informal one, that if a big club comes in for him, then I'll shake him by the hand and I'll pat him on the back and I wish him the very best.
What qualifies as a big club?
I think we know what big clubs are, you know, Premiership and the ones right at the top of the Championship. I'm not going to hold somebody here who's got ambitions to better themselves, and I'll be the first person to wish him well.
I think it's important too that when you're asking Alan the question, is that it's got to be comfortable for me. So it doesn't matter who comes calling, even if I have got a release clause or a contract, it still takes that I've got such a fantastic backroom staff here. I've got Alan who I'm working with, and I've got, you know, as I mentioned, all them board members and people who are around me, who are making my job so much easier. And when I'm making it easier for me to delegate to them people because I trust in them people. When you go to another club, that you're not always guaranteed that. So at this moment in time, this is somewhere where I can hopefully say we're serving our apprenticeships as an owner, as a football club, and as a manager. And I feel that with the way we're going, we can learn off each other, we can make sure we get better. So for me, it doesn't matter who comes calling, it's got to be the right thing for all parties. It's not just Alan saying, yeah, you can go and talk to them, and it's not just, and when he does say that, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be the one just jumping, well, not jumping ship, but going there and going, right, yeah, that's me, I'm gone, sorry, because you've allowed me to talk to them. It's got to be right, because this felt right. I had to get this right when, you know, when I took this job in January, having the experience I did at Leighton Orient. The next one was always going to be the most important. When I spoke to people in the game, you know, who were still speaking to me, they're the ones who always say, you know, you can go to any club in the world, but the people you've got to pick, it's your owner. It's your owner, because you've got to know what they're about and what they want to do and how they're going to affect you on a day-to-day basis. This one lets me do what I need to do on the pitch, and he backs me whatever I do. Yeah, you know, he has questions about teams and this and that, but he never gets involved. He lets me do my work, and hopefully then that's why, you know, we've been successful, because we work together. We're not working against each other, and at Orient we was, and that's why, you know, you see Orient where they are, and I think Alan sees that. So for me, it doesn't matter who comes calling at this minute in time, it doesn't matter who comes calling in 6 months' time. It's got to be right for Alan, it's got to be right for me. It doesn't mean that the first one who comes calling, we're all, you know, we're going to go, oh yeah, that's right for us all, let's do it. It's a massive thing. It's a massive thing if I'm ever going to leave this football club.
We both very much talk about being on a journey, and that journey initially is the Championship. So we are presenting this club from an internal perspective, why we want to be in the Championship next year. That's I know we've got to go through League One first. The infrastructure we're putting in place, the mentalities, the culture that we're building is the start of the journey to the Championship.
Kevin, it sounds like you might owe not something, because you talked there about Orient. Maybe there was a period in between. Were you in limbo as to what was going to happen? Clearly an ambitious manager, and it's really worked out. They set you on the right path here, not something.
Yeah, I don't think I owe not anything, and I don't think I owe Alan anything. I think we always, not that I'm being arrogant in that, and we, you know, I went through the courses of what every other manager we interviewed. I told them what I thought, I explained how I felt I was going to go with the club, and I feel that I've produced that in a short space of time. So I feel that I don't feel that I was owed this contract because of what I've done. I just feel that we will work together. I think because the way we work together so closely, that we will continue to get successful, because we understand what it takes to be successful in our, you know, in Alan in his part, which he's doing all off the field, and me on my part. So no, I don't feel I owe anyone anything, but what I do feel is that you know, I've got a responsibility now, which I can only thank Alan for, because this is you know, it's an amazing club, fantastic club with fantastic people now who are running it. So for me, it's about me making sure that me and my team give everything we possibly can to be successful, because that's what Alan deserves. Alan deserves it for the money he's put into it, the money he's given, you know, week in, week out, you know, everything he's trying on and off the field. The money he's put into all the facilities, as I said, the training ground. You know, you look at that lush green pitch out there now. I don't think a Notts County fan has seen that here at Meadow Lane for a long time. So, you know, this man's been amazing in what he's done. So all we can do is try and be amazing with him and try and work our socks off to get the ethic and the work ethic what he's got. And he knows how hard I work to try and make sure that we're successful, and where we've come in such a short space of time, that's not because we've been lucky, it's because me and him have been in here, and he's been in his office until 9 o'clock, I've been in my office till 9 o'clock, and that's it, and we'll never take that away, because we feel that we've got something which is, as I said before, which is good going on here, and we're on the start of a journey which we feel we can hit. It's going to take time, as I said before, but it's one I'm very much looking forward to, and it's one I'm going full tilt at 110%, and anyone who I see slipping on my side will know about it, and I'm sure that goes for Alan's side, because turnover in people and the you know, the more people he's brought in with the experience and the top end, to make sure that we have 600 people dining here on Saturday. That's not due to the fact that I'm just doing well on the pitch. That's due to what this man's putting out there with his team, who are always looking to make sure that we can make this club better.
What convinced you to go for Kevin when you were looking around to wanting to money?
Initially,
Darren Fletcher behind you, that's who it was.
Fletcher and I, we interviewed 3 or 4 managers. We interviewed 7 in total. We interviewed 3 or 4, and none of them was hitting the mark. And Fletcher said to me, "So what are you really looking for? What's the missing ingredient? Because I brought 3 people in front of you, and you've sort of like said they're not right for you. What are you missing?" And I said the key element is leadership. You know, we've got a team of players at this point. We've lost 10 on the bounce. We wasn't sure whether we was going to get the transfer embargo lifted, because that went down to the wire. and we're looking for somebody who is the leader of men, who can demonstrate being a leader of men. So that's not necessarily a manager that's got a track record showing that they've won X amount of leagues or promotions or whatever. We're looking for somebody who can lead people, who can galvanise people, and we use lots of words in the corporate world talking about when it's right to pull and when it's right to push, and that's really important in motivating people and especially a close-knit squad of players.
And what convinced you that leadership was there?
His experience, the fact he's been captain of Bolton, Newcastle and West Ham. You don't get to be a club captain of a 3 club to start with. So when we actually spread it all down and we said, okay, what we're looking for, what does leadership actually mean? How can we demonstrate that? What does those credentials look like? How can we validate it? Then we sort of like got on to, well, perhaps it needs to be an ex-player who's been a major captain. And then as soon as I met Kevin, and he just, and I'm sure you gentlemen would agree, he just oozes confidence and character and just passion to galvanise people. And this job isn't about, and I won't name other managers because that's disrespectful, but this is not about going into a dressing room and throwing teacups around. This is about really understanding how individuals and players work and really making sure that you know their strengths and you know how to get the best out of those players. And Kevin was outstanding in that regard.
Were the 3 other managers more experienced as managers?
Oh, substantially, yeah. We're talking about 15, 20 years for managerial experience.
But leadership was really important.
Absolutely. That's what the club needed. It needed a leader in the changing rooms. Kevin is the figurehead of this club. I'm there to help him, but he's the figurehead of this club. And every club which has got a strong figurehead, like Sir Alex, has done really, really well.
Did you envisage that it would go this way?
I'm a firm believer that if you're good people and you do the right things, then good things happen. And that goes for whole walks of life. And so I'm not surprised that we've done well, no, because we've worked hard, we worked really hard. So as Kevin said earlier, he's still in there. I mean, you wouldn't think it, I'm not being disrespectful to Kevin, but he is so into data. So he knows how many goals it will take to get promoted this year. He'll know how many losses he's allowed to accrue on the way. And he breaks the season down into blocks, into leagues. So he's very...
Too many of these things away.
Yeah.
People might start using them.
so you know, again in business world we call it being data rational. You wouldn't think it from an inspirational leader that is so data rational, but he is. He goes to that nth degree, and that's really, really important.
What you mean, a little scouse from talking, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Is that something you got from Big Sam? He's very into his data as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's well documented that Sam, when I first worked with him, and I worked with him from a 17-year-old when he first came in the club, you know, we were well ahead of our times, and that's why we had so much success we did in them years, because we were well ahead of our times in GPS, into all the computer stuff, into you know, Premier League kits, all that type of stuff, and how many wins you need for this and this. So I think that's all well documented. It was quite funny because last week when Sam was on Monday Night Football and he put his survival, what was his, a survival kit or something on, and I think all the lads in the changing room on the Saturday was like, my God, you are the mini Sam, aren't you? But I've had me few little bits because I've been, you know, privileged to work with some fantastic managers. You know, Slaven Bilic, who's got the European side of it, you know, who probably sticks out in my mind more because he was the last one I spoke to. But you've got to remember, I work with Chris Hughton, who's been very successful, you know, in taking 3 sides from the Championship into the Premier League now. Alan Pardew, who's been, you know, successful in his own right. So I've took hopefully a little bit from each. Obviously Sam's got a massive influence on me, but I'm trying to go my own way with using a lot of the stuff from and things which I thought worked for players, and hopefully I can continue to progress that, and I'm always looking for that extra edge. And that's why, you know, when I was appointed, I spoke massively about getting my own assistant because I felt that was needed, and me and Tom had really gained a good friendship off the field since I'd left Orient, and I knew exactly how he worked and how intense he was in his work, and I knew that he could bring something to me which I hadn't got yet, and that was an outstanding ability of being one of the best coaches I'd probably worked with throughout my career. When I had obviously a little bit of work with him at Orient, and I knew that he could take me to the next level in that sense. I feel that I am a good coach, but he's much better than me as a coach, and I feel that we bounce off each other. And then, listen, I've walked into such a massive person in Norm, you know, Mark Crossley. He's been such a massive part of what we've been about, and I think the three of us together, I think the boss will tell you, and anyone who sees us around the club, we are like a trio, and we're like a tripod, because when you see one of us, we're always together, and we bounce off each other, and I think we bring all such massive key attributes which makes us a good team together, and I feel that, you know, with them two behind me, that we can keep being successful and keep doing the right things. And when you know people have got your back, as you know, we've very much got Alan's back, and we know he's got ours, and it goes throughout the club now. You can feel it. I think Jim Bentley said it last week when he walked into the club, the buzz, what he feels now, and everyone feels together. It's amazing, and that's because of this man here and me being able to work the lads in such a fantastic environment, and I can only thank him for that. And all I've got to do is just make sure that I work my socks off to make this man happy and keep him successful.
With that backing, it's not going to be as simple as a big club comes and just take you, is it?
That's what I was saying earlier on before when he asked Alan the question. I feel that, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, anyone could come in, but it's about them going. You know, Alan says, yeah, you've got an opportunity to go and talk with them. It's what do they bring, what do they want to give to me, what you know, what attributes do they want, you know, what am I going to be working with, how, you know, what, listen, when me and Alan have spoken about things, and when we spoke in January, he spoke about embargoes and stuff, and he said, well, what if I can't get the embargo lifted? And I said to him, well, I'll keep you up anyway, because I truly believed I would. And I feel that I would have anyway, because that's my sort of character, that's the way I feel. I've been in them situations in my career, and lots of times in my career, as well as gaining promotion. So I feel that I've got a lot of, although I haven't got it in on the managerial side, I feel I've got a lot of things which go for me when it comes to these sort of situations, and I'm just really looking forward to hopefully now the start of what's going to be a fantastic managerial career. Whether it'll be here for 10-15 years, you know, whether it'll be 10-15 years and managing the Premier League in England or whatever it is, I'm just looking at the here and now, and because that's how I do, to have that security what Alan's given me, and you know, that sort of backing, it just shows, you know, how much respect he's got for me, and I think, you know, I think you all know how much respect I have for him because of the way I speak about him weekly, because he deserves every bit of success he's had up to now, and you know, I'll keep reminding him there's going to be a few bumpy roads, and hopefully then, you know, it might bring us back down to earth, but we're ready for them, and I think he knows that. He's been in business, so he knows that you do catch them. It's about how you react to them, and we're ready for that. So just can't wait to get started now. I'm really looking forward to the game on Saturday. I've just said, let's get this done so that we can go away and work, because that's what we'll be doing till you know, later on. So just looking forward to hopefully now just being successful as I possibly can.
So it's a bit of a press conference with a twist. We've got some fans in the back. Jürgen, I'm looking at you here to kick us off. I'm sure you've got a question or two. Feel free to go away.
What's pleased you the most about the start of this season?
I think it's the reaction to what's happened on the first game of the season. There was a lot of people questioning what we've done in pre-season. When you go away from home and you're facing Coventry, which we knew was going to be a tough game, you know, spent a good amount of money, got a lot of players in. They had, you know, I'm not saying that we hadn't, but we knew what we had, and I feel that we just got probably caught a bit of rabbit in the headlights, because we felt that we were probably a week too early when. The week before, the lads seemed to have got to that point where they needed that sort of competitive game, and that one sort of, it just seemed like a lull. But I think it's just a reaction to what happened. Going to Scunthorpe, you know, I think up until last week I've only had one loss, and taking them all away in 120 minutes, and probably not deserving getting win what we deserved on the night.
9 changes as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 9 changes. Yeah, and I feel that's when I sort of, you know, I knew then I had the squad which we believed we had. You know, me, Tomo, and Norm, and we kept, you know, saying to the boss, we've got a good squad, boss. You know, relax. We don't need any more. We don't need anyone else in. He's going, well, you might need this one. After the Coventry game, you might need this one. He kept throwing names my way, and I was going, listen, just trust me, boss, trust me. And thankfully, I mean, but that's great, because, you know, he's not going, you want this one, I'm bringing this one in, I'm doing this, which I've, as I said in my previous management career, that was what would have happened. This one is, can I help you? Can I help you do this? Can I help you get that one? Can I help you do this? Is there anyone you want? All the way up into the transfer deadline. Is there anyone you want now to make this team better, or you feel? And we're like, no, we're okay. We're comfortable with what we've got. We'll see. And in November we might be coming and going, yeah, we need 6 players, or we might be saying we need 2. But hopefully we won't be sitting in the January transfer window and the last 2 days doing 10-hour shifts going trying to get people in. We'll have a window where we can hopefully get them in as soon as we possibly can, and then we can, if we need to shift people out, we'll shift them out. But that's, you know, the nature of the business and what we do, and we'll always keep looking at. But I must admit that the way the lads have responded to that first day, I think it says it all for themselves, you know. And when we've made 5 changes, it doesn't make a difference now. And I think that's the most pleasing thing for me, is that what we've worked on during the pre-season, how hard these boys have worked. Everyone we retained, everyone we offered to come back to this club, wanted to come back to this club, and everyone you've got now want to be a part of this club. So it speaks volumes for what this man's done since he's coming in January, because I believe if everyone we would have offered in January, if you would have offered them another year at this club, I don't think many of them would have took it for another year. So that speaks volumes for what Alan's done.
Any other supporters got a question for you there?
Nice. You mentioned earlier about your support staff. How important was it to you to get somebody like Tomo in? You can't obviously overemphasise enough how important he's been to you.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, it goes obviously under the shadow, because Norm's obviously a big name within the city. Tomo just sort of goes on the background, but he's the one who like sort of makes it all tick, if you like. He's the one who, when we sit in the office, I go, right, okay, what are we doing tomorrow? And he'll come up with all these extravagant ideas. It's about me then going, hold on a minute, and, you know, just take that bit back. But listen, he is, as I said, he's one of the best coaches I work with. You know, he was doing the under-18s at the time, but I just thought, yeah, if I ever got a job, he would be one who I would definitely consider, because I just feel he's got that, you know, sort of, he's a top coach. He's a top coach, and people are born to be coaches. That man's born to be a coach. The way, the respect he gets. The things I'll say, we need to do this, or want to work on this, or he'll come to me, and because we car journey together, you know, he's been living with me, so we actually just sit there till some nights 12 o'clock, half 12, just sitting about talking about football. And the things what goes through his head, he doesn't stop. He just literally doesn't stop, and it's brilliant, because you've got someone who's got an enthusiasm the same as mine. He's got a drive the same as mine, that he wants to be the best assistant manager. Whether he becomes a manager in time, we'll never know. But for me, he's the best assistant manager that I could possibly have asked for. And then having Norm to complement him, you know, for me it's an unbelievable team, and I feel that, you know, together we'll click so much, it just makes it easier, and we're all on the same wavelength. I've got a fantastic medical staff too, you know, I was lucky to walk into. Now they know exactly how I work, and we have the respect of each other, and we're all singing off the same hymn sheet, and I think that's what's important for them too, is because they've never really had the stability. They've had a turnover of managers, and now they know who's boss, in the sense of me, Tomo and Norm are the bosses, and they have to sort of come in line. But we have a respect of them, that they know they can come in and sort of air their views, and then Tomo will go away and make sure that you know, everything's hit, and that's from GPS units to meters we've done each day, so that we know we have lads who haven't played as much, they make sure they get the minutes. It's, you know, everything's sort of, as the boss said before, we have everything data, they all know, and Tomo's a massive part of that. So for me, yeah, he's been a massive part of all the success what's gone on at this club, as well as Norm. You know, them two leading everyone below them, and them being obviously the delegator from me, and me sort of managing them, that made my life so much easier.
Any more from the back?
So Kevin obviously had a really good start this season, 8 games. How do you keep your players their feet grounded?
Just reminded them to 10 games. Because you remind them of Coventry City, how they felt. You know, because when we all walked away from Coventry City, everyone felt like they'd let each other down. Everyone felt like we hadn't hit the heights what we knew we could. We hadn't done what we practiced over the first 5 or 6 weeks, and that's how quickly it can all turn. You know, and then you have the Accrington Stanley game where we've dominated throughout the game, and then in the final 10 minutes we could have lost the game, but only for a fantastic save for Adam Collin. You know, I know their keepers pulled off 3 or 4 wonderful saves, but you know, that's how quickly this league can bite in the bum, and that's why you can't never rest on your laurels. For us, it's only about the next game. We've got Lincoln on Saturday, which is going to be a massively tough game to bring in 4,500 fans. I think Alan's trying to make it harder for me to lose, or easier, sorry, to lose her on at the minute because I've only lost one. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can get as many Notts fans in, because we're going to need it, because they're going to come, they're going to sing loud and proud because of the achievements they've had over the last year. So I'm hoping that we can match them in every way, because we'll be certainly matching them in the dugout and on the pitch. And if they're not, the lads know that they've got 8, 9, 10 lads waiting in the wings just to take their shit. So that's the beauty of this squad now. They all know that they're going to get opportunities, they're not going to get chances, and they know when they get the chance they've got to take it, otherwise they won't have the shit for long.
I've got every confidence that Nottingham Public will come out and support us on Saturday. Lincoln will bring in 4,500. I'm sure all the Notts fans will come to see that great band.